You know what it is, and welcome to another episode of Keen Young Minds, where we get into the minds of entertainers. And today, with me, I have the one and only Mary Show.
Oh, wow. That intro, I love it. Okay.
What's good? What's good?
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to the show. I'm really good.
Thank you.
I'm really good.
Very happy to be here.
Awesome. Like, I've known you for so long, you know.
I know.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah, almost 10 years with the COVID gap.
Yeah.
Everyone was just in their own realities. But yeah, it's been about a decade.
So I first met you at White Boy, a play that I was in, right?
Yeah.
Did we speak or did we?
No, so I was on a...
So you first saw me then?
Yeah, so I think I was on like a... Because I was studying drama, so I must have been on there to like watch some theatre.
Yeah.
And I remember you were incredible.
Oh, thanks.
Like, it had movement in
Thanks.
it, the
It
acting.
did. Had
was
music in it as well.
Music, yeah.
Like,
And it really stood out to me. So then I saw you on a bus. I was like, I know that guy. Oh my God, that guy is from that play. And I said to
did
you,
you
I was like,
approach me?
yeah, I think you were coming off the bus. And I said, oh,
Wow.
excuse me. You were really good in that play. And you were like, oh yeah, thank you. No, he wasn't that cocky with it, but yeah, you were really like gracious and humble. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
And then we found out we was neighbours, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure how. Maybe I don't know if we bumped into each other again.
Mm.
And then I was like, oh, I'm in
Yeah,
and then you're like,
corner.
and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then so that was
South
really
London,
cool.
bro.
I know. Coming like campus, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like I saw you and I've been watching you, and you know what? I've never actually heard you live singing. Confession.
Really?
I've never actually heard you live singing.
Oh, you know what? But that would make sense because during the days we met, music was still a brewing for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I was like doing backing vocals for like other artists. And
Yeah.
I was building up, and then I released a few.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a lot of gigs back then, but now you have no excuse.
Yeah. I've never seen, or if I have, it's never been like one of your own sets.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because
my days, like when I listened to Black Girls, I was like, what? This is cold.
Thank you.
Like, so you're a singer-songwriter.
Yes.
And not only that, to me, you're like a comedian, you know? Because you are
funny.
Hilarious. Because you used to host as well.
Yeah.
And
back in the day.
you're just like, you're all round just unique, you know? And when I hear your sound, like, it's kind of like a merge between, like, you remind me of Emily Sandé, you know, just because of her, like, her tone.
Oh,
you know?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you.
But then you've got like control of a Jasmine Sullivan.
Okay.
You know? Like your control is crazy.
Big compliment.
You know, some people, it's like, I can tell you've sung for a long time. You know, that you're seasoned singer, because what you do is like, you do the light and shades, and you do a lot of colouring, you know, and not just like a Beyonce, she belts a lot, or Jennifer Hudson. See, Jennifer Hudson for me has more control than a Beyonce. Does that make sense? You know, but some people would say that Beyonce's voice, they're both incredible.
Yeah.
They're both incredible. But there's some people that are like, they're just skilled, man.
Wow,
Does that make
this
sense?
is like a compliment, but I continue to work on my vocals.
And you need to, you know what? You really should get like push your music like to the next level. You know, just get it out there. Because like when I saw Black Girls, it was like a piano performance, keyboard. The keyboard is a black girl on a keyboard, and you were singing it a cappella. That version, yeah.
Oh yeah, on YouTube. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. When did you release it? Tell us about it.
So Black Girls I released in 2018.
Yeah.
And that was like the first single coming out as Mary's Show.
Yeah.
Because I went by another name previously.
Yeah.
MYM. Yeah. Talk about that. But yeah, so, and I released visuals for that too. And then that became the snowball of releasing singles with visuals.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah.
And what is it about?
So Black Girls is
what
about...
What inspired it? Like,
so basically, I wasn't feeling well at the time. I had tonsillitis, and I was already making a lot of demos on my laptop. And yeah, I was feeling really ill. I had tonsillitis, and this is when I didn't even have a mic. Like I wasn't really tech savvy, but I just knew, you know, the Apple headphones with the cable.
Yeah,
If we still remember those, I just used to use those. I used to use the mic, and you know the mic you talk into, and I would make it taut, and I would use that to record.
Yeah.
And then like I was playing around with some loops on GarageBand, and there was just like 80s, boom,
Yeah.
digga, and I was just like, ooh,
Yeah.
and then I just was like, you know, and I was just like, yeah.
And you know
And
what?
then
Emily Sunday has that garage kick. Do you know what I mean? That house sort of vibe.
It was kind of very 80s,
Yeah,
very like
yeah.
it was. I think it was called like a 808 like drum kick, and then like when the synths came on and the bass, dun dun dun, like then I just went in, and then I just packed it. I said, okay, cool, and then I continued making this project, which is gonna be my album, which is already finished.
Yeah.
And then I played it to the producer I was working with, and he was like, okay, this track is done. All I would do is like maybe on the outro I can do some like keys, and that's where the outro comes from. Like that's like his he just embellishes some of the chords. But so I originally produced it on GarageBand, originally recorded it, and some of the old vocals from GarageBand are actually still in the chorus. So yeah man. So and now I'm taking production to another level for me.
Yeah.
Because I do have like a project I'm currently working on that is all self-produced. So yeah, and then what I will do is work with musicians to kind of just expand. There's only so much you can do with loops.
Of course.
But if you know someone that can play the bass and keys and drums, they can expand on it, and you know, it can develop something incredible. Yeah.
And recently you won an award, right?
Yeah, it was like funding.
Kick down the door
fund.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I was one of the recipients of Women in Jazz Media 2023.
Congrats.
Alongside some, it's like my first funding recognition thing ever. I have applied for some PRS funding, which I didn't get, but maybe next year I'll have some of those under my belt. But that was really encouraging for me to just be seen, especially in that genre, because I was like jazz, but it was actually it was jazz, yes, but it was also for Black women, particularly who made alternative music, because there really isn't a we're still building that community. And when I say alternative music, I'm not talking like alternative R&B. I'm talking like alternative music that doesn't fit R&B or Afro pop or Afro beats. You know what I mean? It's like women that are just making like kind of like indie music, alternative, a bit left. So yeah, I felt very seen, and there's a showcase happening on the 15th of November. And then I think from that, some other doors have opened up. So I'm also performing at South Bank Centre on the 30th of November too.
Incredible, man.
So it's like, it's getting,
I love that,
kicking
man.
in. So
you definitely, because I've seen you struggle, you know. I've seen you grind. You know? So it's good to see you getting your props, you know, and doors opening, literally. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. What would you say was your biggest struggle?
Biggest struggle was, I think it was that balance of my 9-to-5 life and trying to do music. And then also like my own insecurities about maybe being like a plus size woman and not really seeing myself in the industry. Like that'd be the token, we'll let this one in. And they'll be really big too. They'll be like, you know, your Adele's when she came into the scene, she was a lot bigger. Your Lizzo's. It's like one at a time. It's like, no. You know, when they close the thing, like, after which your turn. But and I would feel and I really had to change that story because it doesn't serve me. So I can't go into things thinking, oh yeah, it's because I'm no, that's your superpower. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm tall, I'm bold, I'm beautiful, and I embrace that. And that's also in my music. But that also can also encourage someone who has other insecurities. It might not be like their size or anything. But the feedback I get from women and people in general, is that my music really empowers them and uplifts them. So I would say those are my struggles. And with the 9 to 5, it was just like to do with identity. Like, you're sitting there, you're dedicating over 40 hours to something that you don't really want to do, but money up a mick, you understand? And you'd kind of get sucked into that world. Do you know what I mean? And then you're also a sister to someone, you're also a daughter to someone, a friend to someone, and your responsibilities and looking after a house, because you and I, we had our own flats, right? So that was a whole nother responsibility. And then, oh yeah, I'm a creative. And then, you know, and then I felt like I was like losing myself. And then
Whoa. That's a big what a guan. Losing myself. That's a big like statement.
Yeah.
Let's get into that. Let's get into it, because when you say you're losing yourself, what did that mean? Like,
just like, I think when you know what you want to do and you're discovering who you are, and you have it here, like in your mental, but in your reality it's not happening, that really can spark depression. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like a sadness that you know that you're meant for big, you're meant for bigger things, but then you look around you and like, oh, okay, so we're still in this 9 to 5. You're still getting that person, when's your next gig? And you can't say nothing. You're like, I don't have another gig. Well, okay, well, when, and it's like in those interactions, there was one point where I didn't even want to talk about music. I would go into a social space and I'd be like, don't ask me when my next gig is, because there isn't one. Don't ask me when I'm dropping music, because I can't afford studio time right now. So I went through this place of almost resenting the fact that I was so creative, because I didn't have the means and the funds outlets to do it. But again, I had to change that story intentionally to be like, okay, I have a phone. I have a laptop. You can do something.
Of course.
It's not, you may not be able to go studio now, but you can do something. So I had to really let go of certain narratives I was really putting on myself. But when you do have a vision and it's very clear and you know you have the ability to do it, one thing I will say is try not to look at your current circumstances as Bible. Things can change. Things are always changing. All that stuff, all that work you're putting in, all those things you're speaking into existence, although all those times you're imagining things, that's all gonna pay off. You just kind of have to persist in that narrative of what you want. Because some people are very quick to give up. Oh, it's not happening.
Of course.
You know, oh, maybe I'm not meant to do it. And it's like, no, you just need to persist. We all know actors, singers, when you hear their story, they were a decade, but then we saw them in their 10th year when they blew. You know what I mean? And we think, oh, that person, and like, no, that person's been grinding since. Do you understand what I mean? A lot of the art, do you know what I mean?
100.
So,
you know, one of the quotes that came to me this week is, or last week, it was, don't make decisions based on where you are. Make decisions based on where you want to go. You know, and that changes. That changes everything. It changes your daily activity. It changes your mood. Changes your mindset. And you know what you just said about mentally having that picture but not being able to see it physically. Would you say that at points you suffered from depression because of that?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people do. They don't even know it. Or a lot of people suffer from anxiety and they don't even know. Like, they realize, oh, I was high functioning anxiety. But yeah, that did like put me into like a depressive state, which then led me to leave that. There was a particular role that I was in for too long. I was meant to be there for a year. Ended up being there for like 4 years or something like that. And like, it was the catalyst of making me saying I need to get out of this environment and at least work somewhere more creative, where at least I'm having conversations with actors, singers, photographers, just to, even though I'm not doing what I want to do yet, at least I'm around people that were all on that same journey of like, but eventually we want to do this full time. So you have to, I know it's hard, especially when you're in that state, but one thing that keeps people in depression is hopelessness. Do you understand? You have to intentionally go, the story that I'm telling myself in my head, it's not true. It's not favorable to me. So you have the power to change your story, the story that you tell yourself. Does that make sense?
110%.
Yeah, because some of the stories we tell ourselves are really not favorable to us at all.
And was there a particular thing or a few things that really helped you to get out of that state that you done, you know?
Yeah, I definitely say like number one was my faith.
Mm.
Even though faith was rocky at the
Yeah.
time, because you're just thinking like, where is it?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
just
yeah.
things like journaling. I know it sounds a little bit like
journaling is the one.
No, journaling is the one, you know,
That is
because
the one.
you almost get into like a trance because you're so like, how can I put it?
It
When you're
focuses your energy.
and it's like
Yes.
your hand is like, your thoughts are even faster than your hand, and you have keeping up, and you keep on going, and you keep on going, and you keep on going, and you keep on going.
It's an extension of your mindset.
Yeah,
your
and
hand.
you're getting it out, and there's just this release, and you just feel very like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And even writing down there's this thing I used to do. Yeah, I used to practice it. I'd write down all my ugly thoughts.
Wow.
I'd write them all down because I needed to face them.
Yeah.
And I'd write them down, and then I would just rip them up.
Wow.
As a symbol of that's what they are. They're nothing.
Crazy.
And I did this with one of my friends, and it really helped her. She wrote. I didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
She was going through a really tough time. I said, write down all your thoughts on paper.
Yeah.
Can you see how untrue those are, and how ridiculous and horrible they look? So rip that thing up. Do that as many times. It's kind of therapeutic to be like, sometimes
it's like a purging.
Yeah.
A mental purge.
Yeah, because sometimes like we think things, and I understand that we have like 75,000 thoughts a day.
I believe it's around 90,000.
90,000. Then not all of them are gonna be like,
yes. Most of them are negative.
I'm good. Yeah.
Most of them are negative.
But there's some that I feel like they've become like beliefs. So we have to kind of write those down. Like an example, I don't know. I had this belief due to someone telling me this, that black women are undesirable to record labels.
Wow.
So when they would tell me that over and over again, I took that onto my own belief. So I'd go in very like pessimistic. But some of the people that I admire till this day, one of them being like Cleo Soul, she's got a label. It's not a major label.
Yes.
She's been with them for a really long time. So it's all about your perspective and what you take on as your own story. So you have the power to change it. So journaling was one.
Yeah. Writing down the ugly thoughts.
Thoughts.
And what was second?
I would say like just speaking to someone, like even someone who will understand. Because sometimes speaking to people that just want to give you a solution. Okay, here's what you should do, and it's like,
yes.
I don't really need the 5-step plan right now. I need someone to just say, yeah, this sucks.
And so, what would be the third one? You know, because you said
so
the
journaling. Speaking to someone that will understand.
That's the second one.
And sometimes it may not be. Sometimes it might be a parent who maybe has had a creative background. It's really important to not speak to someone that will dismiss your feelings.
Of course,
it's horrible.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do that by just okay, here's what you need to do. You will need that at some point. But if you're in that state, like
so a friend that you can relate to.
Could be a friend. It could even be a work colleague. It could be, and then I think the third one is the third one is a culmination of a lot of things, like just your health, man, like your physical health, like eating better, moving your body. I'm not saying like you need to be just staying like going for a walk. Like I used to, when people say, I'd be like, please, you know what I mean?
Walks during lockdown.
Oh my days! Nah, I have to spud you. There was a walk that I did, from my house to Herne Hill.
Yes.
So I'd go, and what I loved is that the roads were quiet and wide. Sometimes, like when you're in Peckham or East Dulwich, they're very narrow. Everyone's like, excuse me. But this one, I felt like I owned the road. And it used to be so liberating.
You just let your thoughts flow.
Yeah, and I could really understand why people like jogging, why they like running, because you feel like you're in charge of your own path. Does that make sense? And nothing can get in your way.
Of course.
So things like moving your body, eating well, like, I'm not saying you can't. I mean, I'm a big girl, but it's not because like I'm eating rubbish and I'm not working out. I just I would consider myself like relatively healthy. Do you know what I mean? But like just also try and take care of yourself, and maybe have like an account, not like partner up with someone, go for a walk with someone. Do you know what I mean? Or
gym partner.
Invite someone over, tell them to bring a few ingredients, cook up something really simple.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
So yeah,
That
those
makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So you're a therapist as well as a musician.
You know what? I did have therapy, and my therapist said I'd make a good therapist.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's probably like another life in it where I would
Yeah,
have been a therapist.
Or you could still do it in the future.
Yeah, you never know.
You know, because you could do music therapy. You know?
Yeah.
Speaking of music therapy, before you go, tell us about the new single "Mother," right?
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Oh,
You know,
thank you.
like was that your mum's voice that was on it?
That's my mum.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Just powerful.
Yeah.
It reminded me of a track on Friday's album, the intro of Friday's album, where his mum prays for him on the album. Yeah, it's you should check out that.
Do you know what
intro.
you know what it was inspired by? Just to throw do you remember, oh my god, The Love Below? Outkast.
No.
Big Boy had his
of course I know Outkast.
It was Andre's side of the CD. There's one where his mum was talking about her being pregnant with him, his dad not being there, and all of these things. And it was really theatrical. So that's what it was inspired by, like using that genuine voice note of your parent. And I know that other people have done it, like Koji Radical and Stormzy and like other rappers and stuff, but like it was influenced by that.
Wow. Off the new album, new EP. Wow. That was your first album?
Yeah, it'd been my first album.
Incredible.
Yeah, man. It's time. I think it's time. Like I've been holding on to it because of anxiety. Like it's the right moment. But I remember my brother said something to me. He's like, you know, you got albums in you. You know, this is not going to be. It's not like you release this and you're like, I can never do this again. There's going to be more. So you're like, let it go, give it to the world. Do you know what I mean? Because they need it. And then make another one, and then make another one. But I think in this world, we're so like, it's got to be the right drop, the streams, like the business side, and we hold on to it like, not yet. But now I'm like, nah, I need to let this go so I can make room for more. Yeah.
As you let it go, more will come to you.
Yeah.
Wow. And what's the name of the album?
Woman Rising.
Woman Rising. Well, you are a woman on the rise.
Thank you.
Most definitely. So it's fitted. And we're going to get you back, hopefully, again. It's been an incredible catching up with you.
Thank you.
And I will just plug yourself, where to find you.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, Mary Show without the W. And that's the same for Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music, it's Mary space and then Show without the W.
I love it. I mean, what a great time it's been chatting to you. My takeaway would be, let it flow so you can grow, you know. Just get out into the world. And as you do that, through journaling, through speaking to another person, through your creative outlets, it's just going to make room for new things to come to you, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be looking keenly at your growth and all that you're doing. So thanks for coming on, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget the handles, Keen Young Minds, @me, @Obionya, and let's keep this dialogue going. Peace.